So one, I believe many of the civil rights activists don't want to solve some of these complicated African-American problems. Am I wrong?
No, because in fact, when you look at the record, what have they done? They turn away from these issues. Now, let me just tell you, I thought your talking points was, that's bold and fresh. That was you with passion. I haven't seen that kind of passion from you in a long time. I am just impressed. I thought it was terrific. Let me also say that if you're saying that we should somehow then be distracted from the injustice of the Zimmerman-Martin verdict, that's a problem, because then a lot of people will turn off and say, oh, Bill O'Reilly just did that because he wanted to distract people from what happened there and the upset in the black community. But I'm going to tell you, I wrote a book about this, Bill, a book called Enough: The Phony Movement's Dead-End Culture that is hurting black America, leading to dysfunction. And I can't tell you how much what you said is on target. You never see a protest against the drug dealers. You never see them taking on the unions about the bad schools in the big cities that educate black and Hispanic and poor children. You never see anybody say, hey, you know what? We've got too many out-of-wedlock births in our community, and it leaves kids feeling abandoned, that the boys out there, and believe me, black people from Jesse Jackson down have said that when they see black kids on the street, it makes them nervous. Why? It's not racism, it's because of just the numbers you talked about, the high incidence of involvement either as convicted or victims of violent crime. But again, the point here is, why don't they say to people, these are steps you can take to help yourself, to build your community, to strengthen your family,
because it's bad for business, Juan. We went over that last week. If they say that, it's bad for the grievance industry. So what do you say, Mary Catherine? Did I frighten you with the talking points memo?
No, I was not frightened. I would say to his credit that Barack Obama actually has addressed some of the things,
but not in
black
an
fatherhood,
effective
for
way.
Instance.
He's only addressed it in an offhand
some speeches
way.
With the black community.
Where is his public service announcement? Where is the federal government taking the buku money they have and making these announcements targeted at young women, for example, young black women, saying, you know what, this is leading to nowhere. Don't do it. Where is that?
Well, I think Obama's answer would be that just giving federal money to programs is the way that they're doing that. I disagree that actually solves the problem.
It hasn't solved the problem since 1964.
Solved the problem. But I also agree with Obama that having a political discussion about race and an honest conversation is probably not really productive or possible, that doing that in your local communities or in your church or with your friends is more beneficial, because, for instance, Juan and I can maybe do that.
What about my charge that you can't have an honest conversation because the race hustlers will brand you a bigot?
I think part of the reason on a political level, at least on a public level, people are petrified to talk about race because they are afraid they will be called racist.
They're afraid they're going to be branded as a bigot if they make the criticisms that have to be made.
Much of the country is very invested and gets either an emotional kick or a financial kick out of calling a bunch of other people racist, or a political advantage from doing that. And so if you have it in your personal community or with your friends, maybe they're less likely to have that advantage, because just assuming that half of the country is racist because they happen to disagree with you politically, or assuming they can't be involved because they're white because they can't truly understand, that's not an honest conversation.
Well, I think I truly understand. I'm the whitest guy in around. I truly understand that millions of African-American people are getting hammered every day of their lives because they live in East St. Louis or Bed-Stuy or Crenshaw in Los Angeles, and they can't come out of their house, and it's an awful environment, and the white politicians who control Washington don't care at all, and they don't. And they don't say anything.
Frankly, the local politicians don't do anything that works about it.
Okay.
No, and let me just tell you too.
Well, wait, Juan. Now we have a half-black president who presents himself as an African-American, and all he does is Now, I'm not. Look, I agree with you. I think that was a good thing that he did on Friday, and Karl Rove's coming up behind us. We'll ask him. I think he disagrees with that, but you got to get involved. I mean, you got to say what it is, and it's the disintegration of the family that's driving all the other stuff, and he doesn't do it. And he hasn't done it.
Here's the thing, though. When he does say it, like he got in front of a black church audience, and he said, you know what? Making a baby is not being a father. You got to raise the father.
Where's
hang
the
on. Let me finish the point, Bill. what happened was then you get Jesse Jackson saying, you know, whispering he should be neutered. He should, you know, he should be
So
not
what?
a man.
What, he
Or
fears
when he
Jesse
went to
Jackson?
Morehouse, what happened? All the crazy comments said, oh, I hope he's going to be critical when he goes to the Naval Academy
Because
and talk
that's
about
the
their sex
grievance
scandals.
industry, Juan.
Yeah,
if he's going to go to the
crazy.
grievance industry, he's
But
going to get
Obama's
grievance.
more powerful
It's
than
just-
them, and he should overcome that.
We should
That's
ignore
what
it.
Look, I
Go
have been
around
championing
them.
this cause forever with you, with Valerie Jarrett, with the president. But you know what? They think that, you know what, they shouldn't do it. And I keep saying you got to get out there. He's a great example, he and Michelle and the kids.
Yes.
But what you need is something where people would say specifically, here's steps you can take to help yourself,
Yeah.
as opposed to making yourself into a loser and dressing
I
in gay
gotta
And in
go.
the
I
end,
gotta go.
in the
fashion.
end,
I gotta
in
go,
the
but
end,
I sat
focusing
there.
on Zimmerman is not emblematic, and
That's
I am
right.
one of those bleeding hearts that on the marijuana position
Zimmerman and
disagrees with
Martin,
you.
that was a tragedy. The justice system
Yes.
worked, but the bigger issue
Oh,
is not
come
addressed.
on.
I sat. Oh, stop it, Juan. You know
You know
that
that's
was a
an
fair
injustice.
verdict. Don't give me any of that crap. You know
No,
it was
no,
a fair
you
verdict
know
based
that
on
was
the
a
law.
There's no justice for that dead kid. Come on.
You know it was a fair justice. You don't like the justice system, then redesign it. But the one
I
we
love
have
the
worked.
justice
It's
system.
not
So knock it
emblematic
off.
of the larger problems.
All right.
And Bill, I still
I just wanna
disagree with
say,
you
wait a
about the
minute.
drug mandatory minimums. I got to get that in there.
I sat 3 days in that Democratic convention. I heard the biggest bunch of BS I've ever heard about the war on women and all this crap. I didn't hear one time somebody say, you know, black ladies, you know what? Don't do that. Don't have babies out of wedlock when you can't support them and you know you don't even know the guy's name. Don't do that. Did I hear that one time? I did not.
You
Catherine
should.
Juan, thank you. Next